Good afternoon, Islamabad. So it's so beautiful to be back in Pakistan after a long time. काफी अरसा हो गया, 8 साल हो गए. But I've been kind of very fortunate to have been in the country for many years in my various roles, and I love the energy in the room. I love the energy in the room, and after this solid lunch that we have had, could we just say, okay, fine, no, we will try to go through this enterprise readiness for generative AI, the best topic that we could have ever chosen after lunch. Are you guys with me? All right, so let's get started. So now, not a conference goes without talking about artificial intelligence, advanced analytics, the data platform, generative AI. And if you are like me, I get confused. There are more questions than answers right now. How do I get there? How do I take care of privacy? How do I take care of governance? Do I do it in my existing systems? Do I get the new systems? How do I manage the cost? Do I do it on cloud? Do I do on premises? There are more questions than answers. And in this short presentation, I would like to make that easier for you. And for me, when I look at these questions, and I don't really have all the answers for you, but what I would like to do is to simplify my life, I would look at perhaps 3 things. And I'm talking about enterprises, the businesses. There's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of innovation happening in the consumer space. But when we get back to our office, when we look at our core banking system, when we look at our payment system, when we look at our financials, procurement system, HR, and that's where, how do I use this? ChatGPT is so good to do homework. My daughters use them. But can I use that to do my financial accounting? Maybe not. Not yet. So, 3 things that I would focus on. 1, how do I get to a modern data platform, deploy it on premises, in the cloud, hybrid, wherever I want it, and complete flexibility to do what I want to. 2, how can I adopt an open, connected, and highly performant analytics system? And 3, how can I then enable the new upcoming exciting technology of generative AI with the enterprise data? So let me go through this. Wow. This is wonderful. But let's just work through this. I swear, I promise, I did the slides in English. But okay, so these things happen. So again, when we look at the data platform designs, and I thought, let me look at outside in, and Gartner has this report for critical capabilities for data platforms, and I start with that. So it has listed 3 critical capabilities in that. 1, a platform that all of us in enterprises are fully aware of for the longest time, a data warehouse. You would take data from the various data sources, you have a data model, and somehow, somewhere magic happens and you try to put your data into the data warehouse, and then you get some reports, you may not get some reports, you get them on time, you may not get them on time. So that's the data warehouse. May not be the most agile, but it's trusted, it's been around, it's performant, and you can rely on it. The second is a data lake, the complete antithesis of data warehouse. I don't have a model, I have a storage system, I have a very cheap and cheerful system that scales to petabytes and petabytes. I can dump my data onto that, but what do I do with that? The platforms to use that data, query the data, do your reports, etc., are limited. However, yes, things can be done. Not the highest degree of performance that you would expect, but yes, it does the job. And then there's a logical warehouse that Gartner points out, that I leave data where it is. I don't have to move into a data lake. I don't have to move it in a data warehouse. And I have a distributed platform, let data be where it is, and at the query time when I need to do something with it, I pull the data when I need it. The modern data platform, that's my first simplification mantra. would be a design pattern that includes all the three solutions into a singular platform. So you have a data warehouse, you have a data lake, and you have a distributed federated data systems. So whatever you want, you can actually put that in a singular platform. And that's where we call the rise of the L word or the lake house. Lake houses generally are with data warehouse paradigm and a data lake. But what we are trying to do at Teradata is to extend that data platform to include the distributed federated data warehouse as well, where you leave the data where it is, don't have to move into a repository, and at the query time, at when you need it, it will be queried and you get the results back and given to the users. So my first submission to you would be, as you are looking at your new platform for AI, for analytics, for doing what's cool, first thing, simplify the world of data, bring it to a lake house that incorporates all the three design patterns: data warehouse, data lake, and the distributed federated logical warehouse. Now, a day in the life of Teradata. Now, again, Teradata has been in the country in Pakistan for 25 over years. Under your leadership, Kuram, we made great strides. We built a fantastic team out here. We still have more than 400 people supporting global projects everywhere. And a day in the life is could be 80 odd applications, 200 million queries a month. Millions of queries goes through the system every day with sub-second responses and looking at tens of petabytes. I apologize again, you can't, for whatever reason, read the slides, but tens of petabytes looking at one of the largest system has got 1.7 trillion rows in a singular database. And all these can happen with a massively parallel processing system that scales to any kind of data workload. And it's very important in a country like Pakistan when we are looking at digitalization at population scale. When we are looking at 200 million people, and if you want to now implement data systems that can scale out, this is the kind of platform that one would require. And you can deploy these systems, these highly performant systems, on premises or in the cloud or in a multi-cloud hybrid environment as well. The second area that I would like to do to simplify my life is adopt an open, connected, comprehensive analytic system. We believe in database analytics. And what I would draw your attention to on the left side of the slide are the in-database algorithms. So for the first time, you don't have to take your data to analytics. Analytics is where data resides. That solves, simplifies your life in terms of governance, security, breaches, cost of moving data, governance, and management, etc., that invariably, inevitably comes with that. Two, we support all kinds of languages, whether it is Python, R, in database, native support for SAS, if there are a lot of SAS users in the country, looking at SQL, of course. And also a very, very, very strong supporter of open analytics platform with predictive model markup language or our open neural network platform. So again, you have in database platforms that can now scale to support millions and millions of models. Rather than take data to the models, you bring the models, which is a smaller piece of work, to massive amount, petabytes of data in your singular platform that we talked about earlier. And you could try these all out at clearscape.teradata.com. It's free. You can sign up for a trial, get provision in a few minutes, and you get access to all this beautiful, scalable analytics that you would want to try it out in your enterprise. And Once you have the data platform, once you have the advanced analytics in the database, all the algorithms and the open analytics framework that I just touched upon, you can extend this to generative AI capabilities by bringing in your own large language models. By bringing in your own models, you can uh, look at the open source models, or you can look at in the cloud just through APIs, access through large foundation models like ChatGPT, OpenAI's ChatGPT, or Meta's Llama, which can be made available to you. So bring your own models, bring your own large language models into your enterprise through the platform that we provide through the open APIs. You could also use something called ask.ai. Check it out. It's in a limited preview usage right now. And we have made natural language available to the enterprises to discover your data, to know what data needs to be used to support your business processes, for your fraud management, for your propensity to buy, your next best offer, marketing campaigns. If you want to bring the data together for your best campaign, we have an exploration tool that can now be used in natural language for you to get all those insights from the databases and then employ that for your marketing campaigns or for your fraud management or whatever use cases are. And lastly, what I would like to, what you can't see, and I thought this was my highlight of presentation. But these things happen. So again, on the top, imagine the general intelligence of a large language model like OpenAI or Llama or Whisperer or whatever have you, whether open source or a private paid for solution. You have the general intelligence, cognitive intelligence coming from these large language models. And at the bottom, after the plus, you combine that with your enterprise data. And the enterprise data can be tuned with our capabilities with the most often run queries. So with one of the customers for a tax department in Asia, what we have done is we have taken the top 200 queries that the customers run to fine tune their models against those large language models. For citizens now to interact in natural language with the backend tax systems in terms of looking at what are the tax dues, when are these taxes dues, what are the rebates, and whatever queries, whatever interactions that you need to have with your tax systems. So you can take the large language models and the general intelligence, combine that with your enterprise data, fine tune that data with your most often run queries, and you can combine that with lots and lots of unstructured data at digital scale, whether these are audio, video, through the embedding models that we have to give you either a co-pilot, Lucia, you refer to a co-pilot, or it can be a business application, or it could be what I like to believe, the future, a digital employee. That's where we are moving. But in order for us to move to the digital employee with generative AI, for us to take advantage of all these good capabilities of generative AI, go beyond just doing homework at home using ChatGPT, deploy it for your enterprise functions. We will have to bring some of these, but you need to get your data right. That's your first, mantra. Uh, Modern data platform around the three design patterns: data warehouse, lake, or a logical warehouse. Two, an open, connected, highly performant analytics ecosystem, and extend that with your generative AI through those enrichment models, through those vectors, or through these capabilities that can fine tune your enterprise data to now respond to citizens or employees or users with answers. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon and at work.